Rock Galactic Rogue Core launched in early access today. It's a standalone spin-off from Ghost Ship Games. It's a roguelite, and if you're planning to play it on Steam Deck, there are some things worth knowing before you buy. Now, Rogue Core is Ghost Ship's take on the roguelite format using the Rock Galactic universe. Same planet, same dwarves, different structure. Each mission starts you with a basic loadout, and you build your kit as you go. So weapons, suit abilities, upgrades, they all come from depositing this new mineral called Exponite into your processor drone. The runs take around 45 to 50 minutes. It's a faster and more combat focused game than the original, and the difficulty starts higher too. Ghost Ship described it as roughly Hazard 3 from the original game. It's scaling up from Hazard 3 and it's pretty difficult. I think it's a good game and it's pretty fun, but performance on Steam Deck is not ideal, so let's get into it. The game defaults to a 60% resolution scale on the Steam Deck, and that's already a compromised position, and it's still not enough to keep things smooth when encounters get heavy. Even on the lowest settings with FSR3 enabled, you're going to see drops below 40 FPS in busier fights. And because it's a roguelite where the intensity ramps up as you push deeper into a run, that is going to happen quite often. So you're realistically looking at 45 FPS tops. Now the game supports both DX11 and DX12. I tested both and performance is pretty much similar between them. That's not gonna be a setting you can lean on to get any meaningful gains in the performance. There is a built-in frame generation in the options, just don't use it ever. Leave it off. It's really bad right now. It stutters like crazy. It makes the game feel much worse. This is all using FSR3 at balanced. I tried forcing FSR4, but it's not working. It will break the game. Don't try and do it. And this will be on the lowest possible settings. It is pretty rough. I think targeting 45 FPS is your best bet, and even then you can still experience FPS under that. That's gonna be your most stable option though, and it keeps the experience feeling somewhat consistent. Now battery life at that 45 FPS cap comes in at around 2 hours and 45 minutes. If you absolutely need to reach 60 FPS or more, you can use Lossless Scaling and you can leave it uncapped. Because there are some places where you will reach 60, it's best to uncap it, otherwise if you use Lossless Scaling and 60 FPS, it will double the input lag. So it is significantly better with Lossless Scaling, but because it's a fast-paced combat game, you will feel the input lag and you will see the artifacting. So I don't think that's the ideal game to use Lossless Scaling. On top of that, there is multiplayer and you shouldn't really use Lossless Scaling with multiplayer. It's just gonna affect your latency a lot. All of this gets progressively worse if you decide to play multiplayer with 3 other people. You're probably looking at below 45 FPS most of the time. The good thing is that at least there is no anti-cheat issues or anything like that on the Steam Deck. If you're finding this breakdown useful, consider joining the Steam group and SteamFlow curator page. The curator page has tested notes across a range of games on the Steam Deck, and it's worth checking before you buy a game. Links will be in the description. There are a couple of things Ghost Ship got right for handheld play. The controls in this game are fully customizable, which is great. I always love it. There's also a UI scale option. This is pretty useful on the Steam Deck screen, where default UI sizing in PC games can sometimes be a problem. And some of the text in this game from the default is actually pretty small to read on the tooltips, so it's pretty great that they have that option. It's a small thing, but I love it when it's there. Rogue Core, I think it's worth your time if you're a Rock Galactic fan. The roguelite loop works. Picking your face suit ability, building your loadout across a run, the way power accumulates as you push deeper, it just feels different enough from the original to stand on its own rather than just being the same game with a new structure slapped on. The flip side is that the baseline difficulty is actually higher, like way off, at least for me. And on Steam Deck specifically, the performance ceiling adds another layer of difficulty that you need to manage. That being said, I have enjoyed what I've played so far. I've only got about an hour and a half in. It is an early access launch after all, and Ghost Ship have a track record of supporting their games well post-launch, which I think matters here because performance on Steam Deck should improve over time. At least I hope it does. But right now I can't really recommend it as a good experience on the handheld. Yes, it runs. Yeah, you can get 30 FPS, you can get even 60 FPS, but there will be spots in the game where it's going to break down and you're not going to be enjoying it. I'm marking this as informational, I cannot fully recommend it, but I'm sure that by the time it launches into 1.0, it will be a much better experience. Right now it is playable, but with a lot of trade-offs. I think the 45 FPS cap is your practical target. FSR 3 and low settings, they get you close but not all the way in heavy encounters. That's gonna be it for this one. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike and let me know what I can do to improve. If you're into Steam, Steam hardware and gaming handhelds, consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.